I am a romantic.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think, like many of us, I'm very protective of my heart and matters of the heart. So I'm an enormous romantic, but it just takes me a while to get there. But once I do, I'm at your beck and call,
Hollywood relationships age in dog years, and few stories prove that better than the quiet unraveling of Aaron Pierre and Teyana Taylor. What began as a soft, almost poetic connection quickly became one of the most talked about pairings in recent memory. Fans didn't just like them, they projected futures onto them. Wedding hashtags appeared before either of them ever confirmed a relationship. That's how strong the image was. So when Aaron finally spoke up, it stopped people cold. Not because of scandal, but because of how calm the explanation was. No cheating. No explosive fallout. Just timing. According to Aaron, their relationship didn't collapse under drama. It buckled under momentum. Both careers were accelerating at the same time, demanding full attention, full energy, full sacrifice. Instead of one rising while the other steadied the ground, both launched upward simultaneously. In Hollywood, that's rarely survivable. What surprised fans most wasn't the breakup itself, but the reason. We're used to chaos stories. This wasn't that. It was two people succeeding too fast in two different directions without space to slow down. And that revelation forced everyone to re-examine the entire timeline, from the first red carpet glances to the final quiet distance. Suddenly, the fairy tale didn't feel broken. It felt unfinished.
Here's the part that took me out. Women are already flooding Aaron's comments, trying to get his attention, because he posted a very, very fine as hell picture of himself. All right, that's what he posted.
Looking back, the early signs were subtle but powerful. Their connection didn't begin with a headline announcement. It unfolded in moments. Shared appearances, familiar smiles, mutual presence in high-profile rooms. The February gala in Los Angeles planted the seed. Two stars standing too comfortably beside each other to be coincidence. Then came the Vanity Fair Oscars afterparty, a setting where appearances are never accidental. They didn't arrive together, but the photos told a louder story than any caption ever could. The way they looked at each other, the shared confidence, the ease, it didn't feel staged. That's what hooked people. By March, the internet wasn't asking if they were together. It was assuming they were. Teyana's black and white Oscars post with the caption "No Gray Area" pushed the speculation into certainty for many fans. It felt intentional without being explicit. Then Aaron appeared in her visual album project, and that on-screen intimacy blurred the line between performance and reality. That single kiss ignited a frenzy. Fans didn't just ship them, they crowned them. Two creative forces, both ascending, both magnetic, meeting at the same cultural moment. It looked like destiny forming in real time. But Hollywood history tells us something important. When a connection burns that bright, it rarely stays contained. Heat attracts attention, and attention changes everything.
Here's the problem. Here is the problem. Aaron Pierre was too fine. See, ladies, this is what you get. And this is why I say, this is why you got to get an ugly man. Or even not an ugly man, you got to get a medium ugly man. You got to get a man with a great personality. Because, see, when you get a man like Aaron Pierre with that height, those eyes, the cheekbones, the abs, you're going to have to deal with all of this, the women circling around.
June brought the high point. Aaron's birthday celebration wasn't just personal. It was symbolic. Teyana made the relationship public with a heartfelt message, and fans dissected every word like it was permanent. Aaron's reply felt just as sincere. In interviews, Teyana spoke about feeling safe, about gentleness, about peace, words that carried weight given her past. This didn't feel like a rebound, felt like healing. People close to her hinted that she finally felt grounded, that the relationship represented calm after chaos. And then, without warning, the energy shifted. The photos stopped. The public appearances ended. The casual online interactions faded. No unfollows, no statements, just silence. The kind that feels deliberate. Fans noticed immediately. When Page Six confirmed the split, the language was simple and emotionless. They've gone their separate ways. No blame. No explanation. But in Hollywood, simplicity often masks complexity. The absence of drama became the mystery. People began filling the silence with theories. Because when nothing is said, everything becomes possible. The quiet didn't feel accidental. It felt managed.
It's like sharks smelling blood in the water. All kind of sharks going after this man. Old sharks, young sharks, cougar sharks, male sharks, menopausal sharks, baby mama sharks. Y'all.
When Aaron finally addressed the breakup, his tone surprised everyone. He wasn't bitter. He wasn't defensive. He sounded exhausted. He described the situation as a matter of timing, and suddenly the pieces aligned. Teyana's career was exploding. Award buzz, acclaimed projects, constant travel. Aaron was entering blockbuster territory, juggling franchise commitments across continents. They weren't just busy, they were existing in different professional universes. Insiders described the relationship as reduced to brief reunions between flights. 2 days here, premiere there, then separation again. Love became logistical. The irony is that they seemed perfectly matched on paper. Both independent, both ambitious, both artists who understood sacrifice. But that similarity reportedly became the problem. Neither wanted to slow down, and neither could afford to. At that level, compromise isn't romantic, it's risky. And so the relationship quietly ran out of oxygen. What stood out, though, was the mutual respect that remained. No shade, no bitterness, just distance. Fans debated whether that meant freedom or loss. Sometimes it's both.
When I tell y'all, when it comes to available men, sometimes we women are just too thirsty. Okay? Now, I think everybody knows, we were all shocked to read reports that Teyana Taylor and Aaron Pierre split up over the holidays. They did. That is such a hot couple gone to waste. They are so, together. They were so beautiful.
There's a strange irony woven through this story. The same momentum that brought them together also pulled them apart. Teyana's visual album now feels like a time capsule. Moments of intimacy frozen just before everything shifted. Fans rewatch scenes and notice details they missed before. The way they looked at each other. The quiet intensity. Some wondered if they already knew the ending was coming. Others questioned whether the relationship had been more strategic than emotional. Hollywood has a long history of perfectly timed romances aligning with major projects. Some insiders whispered that the rollout felt almost too precise. Appearances lined up with releases. Public moments landed near career milestones. That doesn't mean the feelings weren't real, but it complicates the narrative. In this industry, real emotion and promotion often coexist. Lines blur. Even the people involved can lose track of where performance ends and connection begins. Crew members from the project reportedly joked about how cinematic the romance felt: beautiful, intense, and possibly temporary. And yet, small gestures suggested something genuine. Private glances, protective instincts, those aren't easily faked, which makes the ending sting more. Whether planned or organic, the bond left a mark.
It's honestly, I'm an introvert. Despite my career choice as an actor, an artist, I'm actually an introvert and somewhat of a recluse. So a lot of this year, the reception, I've been enjoying it and receiving it in the comfort of.
The question now is whether this is truly over or simply paused. Hollywood loves a second act. Awards season brings shared spaces and unavoidable encounters. Insiders speculate that their paths will cross again. Premieres, after-parties, industry events. Both have stayed remarkably quiet since Aaron's comments. Teyana has leaned into her work, radiating focus. Aaron has adopted a reflective tone in interviews, speaking about growth and evolution rather than loss. There's no visible animosity, just space. That restraint feels intentional. Some believe both teams agreed to protect the narrative, keeping it clean to preserve their brands. In today's industry, silence is strategy. Mystery sustains interest better than chaos. And it's working. Every nostalgic post reignites speculation. Engagement spikes. The ghost of the relationship still generates attention. It's subtle but effective. Whether intentional or not, the story continues to live on without either of them actively feeding it.
Yeah.
I had a hard time listening to him. She heard blah, 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 blah. I am just like, I mean, I heard it, I received it, I respect it. But your eyes are unfair. Like, they're unfair. Like, I can be your mom, but I'm just, wow, they're so pretty. They're so pretty. It's hot in here. I'm kidding.
What made the breakup hit harder wasn't the separation. It was the collapse of an image everyone helped build. Fans weren't just watching two people fall in love. They were watching a fantasy take shape. When Teyana later spoke about defining relationships privately, it felt like a boundary being reclaimed. Aaron's team reportedly did quiet damage control as his franchise roles expanded. Timing mattered. Silence wasn't avoidance, it was protection. But the internet doesn't respect restraint. Theories multiplied. Some accused the relationship of being performative. Others argued that its subtlety proved it was real. Both interpretations can coexist. Hollywood thrives on that ambiguity. Authenticity fuels interest just as much as illusion. And the audience, knowingly or not, plays a role in sustaining both.
I need to know from you, what was it like when you saw his viral spirit tunnel?
You want to know how it was for me?
What was it like, Regina? What you got, girl?
No, it was impressive.
It was impressive.
It was
Elaborate.
impressive.
Elaborate. Somebody said yes.
Okay, yeah, thank you. You know, well, he's very handsome.
Yes, ma'am.
As Teyana's star continued to rise, praise poured in from industry heavyweights. Aaron faced the pressure of blockbuster expectations. Success once again kept them apart. Yet neither turned bitter. Teyana remained gracious. Aaron stayed respectful. Fans romanticized the ending, replaying old quotes and moments. There was no villain to point at, just timing and ambition. Some insiders claim the clean narrative was intentional. When two brands are this valuable, conflict isn't profitable. Mystery is. And that approach has kept the story alive without damaging either career. It's modern Hollywood relationship management at its finest, quiet, controlled, unresolved.
Oh my God, those close-up we should get a close-up. Those are like mesmerizing, beautiful.
Thank you.
What color are they?
I don't know.
I'll find out. I'll tell you what. So wait, you knew it.
What lingers is the feeling that this chapter isn't closed. There's unfinished energy, avoided names, careful phrasing. In an industry this small, paths will cross again. Whether that leads to a reunion or simply a moment of recognition remains to be seen. Hollywood's favorite genre isn't scandal. It's comeback. Maybe this story wasn't about forever. Maybe it was about timing, ambition, and the cost of rising too fast together. Or maybe the pause exists so the story can be rewritten later. Either way, this wasn't just a breakup. It was a reflection of how fame reshapes connection. So now the question is yours to answer. Was it real love overtaken by ambition? Or a perfectly choreographed moment that became real along the way? Drop your thoughts below. Something tells us we haven't heard the last chapter yet.